Hey, let's try this again, guys. I don't know what happened here. Okay, Mary Helen, I got you. Marbella, welcome back. Hannah Broadway, got you, girl. Sorry, I don't know what is going on today. Hermina, hey. Hermina, gotcha. Hey, Hannah. Hey, Jennifer Orr, welcome back, girl. Sorry, y'all hang in there with me. I don't know what is going on, but it was telling me that my chat got disconnected, and then it said that. So I don't know what's up. Check in here. Check in. Roll call. Hey, Taylor. Welcome back, girl. Welcome back, you guys. All right. Well, thanks. Welcome back, Kiera, guys. Thanks, guys, for being patient with me. I don't know what is going on. I'm sitting right here in the office, right under the Wi-Fi router, so I don't know why it's acting up. It shouldn't have a problem. Hey, Kiera. Hey, Yasmin. Hey, Brianna. Got you, girls. Okay. All of y'all chime in for roll call, please, as they come back. As you come back. Roll call, please. Make sure I got everybody. Is it the weather? It's bright and sunshiny over here, Taylor. I don't know what's going on. Oh. Hey, Monica, welcome back, girl. I don't mean to be jerking y'all's chain, I promise. Oh, goodness gracious. Hey, Demaya, welcome back. Hey, Christy Acevedo, girl, welcome back. Thank you, girls, for coming back. I'm sorry. I just had to drop that video and oh, it's been raining. I didn't get any rain. Hey, Mercedes, welcome back. Hey, Reagan, welcome back. Thank you for coming back, guys. Thank you for being patient with my internets. Like I said, I'm sitting right under. Hey, Molly, I'm sitting right under the Wi-Fi router, so there should not be any kind of reason, for me to lose anything here. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hey, Valeria de los Santos. Valeria de los Santos. And there we go. Got you there. Hey, hey, Chloe, got you. Hey, I know I'm making y'all work hard. Sorry, Monica. I really don't mean to. I promise. Um, but also too, I kind of wondered if me having y'all jump to your emails had something to do with it. But it said the problem was with my connection, so I don't know. I know darn technology. um, so what I was saying earlier is that you should have gotten an email this morning that had your agenda and had your assignment. Hey, welcome back, Connor. Thank you for coming back, man. I appreciate y'all. So anyway, what I was saying is that you should have got an email this morning, and then it got hung up. I guess like the internet, it got hung up in the cloud or something. Didn't quite go out, and so we realized that when I was with y'all this morning, you were like, "What? What worksheet?" Hey, Melissa. Um, you were like, "What worksheet? What sheet?" Y'all didn't know what I was talking about, so that's when I went and talked to them. When we recreate, are we drawing the bacteria and stuff? You don't have to draw the bacteria. Okay, so there's two things that she had y'all do this morning. Yeah, up in the cloud. That's right. All I see are strange clouds. Hey, Sam, welcome back. So anyway, what was supposed to have this morning is you had these questions that were supposed to have completed, and that's what we were reviewing this morning. We're going over, and then what she had scheduled for you for your assignment to do after that was to basically copy and recreate uh, the term that had bacteria, direct transmission, indirect transmission. She wanted you guys to rewrite. I don't know if you can see that. Rewrite that stuff. And so, anyway, that's what you guys should have done and emailed by the end of the day. Hey, Olivia, welcome back, girl. We had some technical difficulties, so I had to drop the video and okay, so yeah, there was that assignment, and then after the end of this one, there's another assignment, which is the blood exposure incident. So the one that you got in your email too. Yeah, we didn't get that yesterday. Yeah, I know it only came in today. That's what I was saying, Monica. It got stuck in the cloud. And then the one today is you're supposed to rewrite the blood exposure, the steps to a blood exposure incident. This is all going to help you guys with your memorizing the steps. You know, when you write it down, you remember it better. That's why we make you write it. I mean, yeah, anybody could print it out. Yeah, duh. But it's like, are you going to retain the information? So that's why she's having you rewrite it. You know, you could be lazy, sure, and take the Cliff Notes way out of it, you know, but nothing worth it, nothing worth having is just handed to you. You know, you got to work for stuff that, yeah, exactly. That's all it is, basically. Yeah, Mercedes. It's just so you remember. Yeah, you can turn them both in at 5. I'm not trying to switch y'all or make you you know, make things difficult for you. I mean, that's not what I'm here to do, you guys. I know that sometimes it may get frustrating, you know, it's like, oh darn it, you know, they're having us do so much stuff. Um but you know, it's not about that. We're not trying to, you know, we're not trying to make you upset you or irritate you or make things harder. It's just all about just trying to um Monica, girl, you're funny. Go ahead and print it up real quick, girl. If you can print in handwriting, I know some of those apps have like type that looks like handwriting, I guess. But ooh, she got good handwriting. No, but handwriting it, there's some value to it. Monica, you're silly. But yeah, there's some value in it in rewriting it. So those are the 2 assignments. Then later on, when I come back, when we come back at 3, when we log back on at 3 o'clock, there's going to be one little. There won't be nothing really to worry about. So I got you. I got you. Mary Helen also sent my assignments for tomorrow, and it never went through. Okay. Okay, I know it can be frustrating, Mary Helen, but don't worry. Just hold on to that stuff too. You know, it's getting kind of now as we're having students here clocking hours, me putting in the attendance is getting kind of coming together. So we're trying to fit it. So don't worry, I'll get you your credits. You know, I'm not trying to cheat anybody. You know, your hours. You know, I'm not trying to, you know, it's in my best interest to give you credit for the hours. I'm not trying to hold your hours hostage, you guys. I want you to succeed. So you know, even though I make it a little cat-like every once in a while and show my claws. Um, Oh no, you won't. Okay. So the thing about that, Melissa, is that you're holding on to all this stuff. What's going to happen is when you return to the school, you're going to bring your work assignments and your notes, and we're going to pour through them because I want to make sure that you're actually doing the work, and that you know that we can give you credit for it. Hey Amber, so that way you know basically you know because we're not a school that just gives out hours just to give out hours. You know what I mean? We're accredited for a reason, and that's why you chose us. So we want to make sure that everyone's doing quality work. You know, so we're, you know, just like with anything, you know, you learn what works and what doesn't work, you know, as we move through different platforms and decide what we want to do. Yeah, so this is all new to a lot of schools, you guys. So we just kind of, you know, I was very proud when I was on a webinar, you know, and looked at some of these universities doing their online, and I was like, girl, I was like, ours is better. Hello, I was all proud. Because at first, you know, it's very stressful as a teacher to try to make sure and feel like you're doing your students good. We care a lot about you guys and your experience and what you learn how to do. You know, as an educator, you guys, it weighs heavily on us. You know, making sure that you're getting the information and that you're enjoying your time and that it's working. That's what a true, you know, a teacher does, and that's what we care a lot about. And so I appreciate your flexibility and your understanding as we figure out what works and what doesn't work. So, but yeah, but just hang on for the ride, girls and guys. We'll get there. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So basically what we're going to do is where I left off, in that questionnaire, that questionnaire that you guys had with the 32 questions, I think it was, there was a couple of things that I didn't finish, and maybe some of you are going to go back through. I didn't get to finish the video because it crashed on me. But yeah. So the last part of those questions here, where is it at? We left off with some of our questions talking on that review, talking about what was the meaning of virucidal. When something is virucidal, it kills viruses. That's where we left off. So that was number 22. And so number 23, I was just reiterating. This is, oh, hey, Faith. Did I get Faith already? I got Faith. I got you, Molly. Okay, Olivia, got you. Okay, cool. So, where we left off, we were left off on number 23, and it was saying, is it true that some bacteria are good and some bacteria are bad? That's pretty common sense when you guys look at that review. Yes, good bacteria are the beneficial bacteria, the non-pathogenic, and then bad were the bad guys, which were pathogenic bacteria. So there's a review of that. That was pretty basic. There were a couple of others that I'll go over pretty quick for you, okay? The other question was, which was number 24, which bacteria is responsible for blood poisoning? And that's going to be your streptococci, okay? Streptococci. It also causes strep throat. So this having the word cocci in it means it's still round or spherical shaped bacteria. It just arranges itself differently in different clusters. It actually arranges itself in curved lines is what strep does, streptococci. Okay, so that one was actually on your question. Now that you actually have the questionnaire in your email, you know what I was talking about this morning. Because a lot of you were like, what questions are you talking about? It was your review that I was going over. So this is number 24. We had number 25 was asking the same type of question, but number 25 was asking what bacteria cause pneumonia? Pneumonia. And that would be diplococci, or a diplococcal infection. That, just like strep, has the cocci on too. So this is basically the cocci in pairs. So streptococci arranges itself in curved lines, and then diplococcal infection are pairs, and that caused pneumonia. Okay. All right. So that was number 20, number 25 for the diplococcal. Then we had number 26. This was talking about which bacteria grow in clusters. This is another cocci, but this is staphylococci. Hey, Alexis, welcome back, girlfriend. Thank you for coming back. We had some technical difficulties a while ago. So remember, we identify the pathogenic bacteria because those are the ones we're worried about because they're the bad guys. So the bad guys are the ones we care about. So they're the ones we actually classify by their shapes. And so we had the spirilla, which are spiral shaped. We had the bacilli, which was the most common, which is the rod shaped. And then we had the cocci, which is, streptococci. Okay, what I was saying about strep is still a cocci, so they're round or spherical shape, but they arrange themselves in curved lines. And then we saw where diplococcal infection that causes pneumonia were the cocci in pairs. infection or boils. I'm sorry, it causes boils. And cause boils, it's the staph infection, staphylococcus. So this one is number 26. There's only a couple of more and then we're done with that. Okay. So I just wanted to cover it because I know that you guys, some of y'all fell off the wagon there and I didn't get to finish either. So I was kind of frustrated with that. I didn't want to leave it Here singly and alone. The answer is yes. Okay. Singly and alone, yes. Okay, just coxy. When it's pairs, it's diplocoxy. When it's arranged in curved lines, it's streptocoxy. When it's grape-like clusters, it's staphylococcus. Okay, so yes, it can be found by itself as well, but then it would just be C. Okay, so number 28 is talking about, so we talked about how they get in. Number 28 is talking about how they get around. Okay, bacteria get around in different ways. Most commonly, they use their hair-like extensions. Okay, hair-like extensions or projections that help them propel themselves about. Okay, that allow bacteria to move about. They are called cilia and flagella both. You'll see in your textbooks, as your tools are used interchangeably. They don't necessarily differentiate between the two. But what I'll tell you is flagella is going to be more of the snake-like tail. Whereas cilia are going to be the hair-like, rhythmically moving hairs along the sides of the bacteria. The flagella is usually the snake-like tail, whereas cilia are the hair-like extensions, and they move rhythmically. If you think about a snake, how a snake glides itself by moving its scales, same type of thing. It moves rhythmically. The last three I'm just going to give to you verbally. Okay. Number 30, it says here, what stage of bacteria where it's warm, dark, damp, and dirty? What stage would your bacteria be in when conditions are dark, damp, and dirty? We discussed that, the 3Ds, triple D. Dark, damp, and dirty, they're going to be in their active phase or their growing phase, active or vegetative. So that was the answer to number 30, is what stage are bacteria in when conditions are dark, damp, and dirty. Number 31 says here it's the same type of thing, but it's opposite. What stage where bacteria coats themselves in a wax-like outer shell and cannot be harmed? They can't be harmed by disinfectants, you guys. When a bacteria goes into spore action. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And you guys should know that. Pus is a sign of infection. All right. So that was it for that review that we didn't quite finish on the first me, and turning that in to our email, which is bbsdistancelearning@gmail.com. You have to do that by 5 o'clock. Okay. All right. Now let's move into our segment that we're going to talk about now. Are y'all glitching? Are y'all glitching? I didn't know. What did I do? Y'all are glitching? Darn it. You know, Wendy was using a different laptop. I have I'm using the school's laptop. Maybe it has something to do with that. This is a boot. It's a Lenovo, y'all. It was like several $100s. Okay, well, I'm going to try to move on, I guess. I don't know. Can y'all refresh or something? Okay. So then we're going to move on to the next section, which is what we came here for. Disinfectant. When you go to use products, you guys, you need to use approved products that are going to be effective for what you need them to be, okay? No, you hold on to the answers there. You should have, that review was from the day, but no, that's for you to keep. We're glitching again. Okay. So choose a disinfectant. There are some things that you need to consider. Number one, when you're considering a disinfectant, you must read and follow manufacturer's instructions always. Read them labels, you guys. Read the label. These labels are important. Because the label has important information. How you should store the chemical. Is that better, Christy? Okay. So first things first is always read the label. All right, Christy, you got me paranoid over here. Okay, so read the label for important information. It's going to have storage and storage information, information about its effectiveness, and also how to use it properly. Okay, so read the label for important information. When you're choosing a disinfectant, you choose a disinfectant that is most appropriate for its intended use and is the safest for you and your clients. So, what are you using it on? Are you using this disinfectant on clippers? They make a product specifically for disinfecting clippers. That is a lubricant and disinfectant in one, so it doesn't. You're not putting water on it. Are you needing to soak your tools? Are you just needing to spray down and disinfect surfaces? What are you needing it to do and be effective against? That label will help you to decide. So choose a disinfectant that is going to be most appropriate for your needs, for the uses that you need, and that is the safest for you and your clients. So you've got to do your due diligence. Maybe you need just a disinfecting wipe instead of a spray. Okay? So use an appropriate product that works for you. That label is also going to hold some other information, which I've told you about. Efficacy. On that label, it's going to describe its efficacy, which is going to describe what the product is effective against. If you are in a salon or spa, especially nail techs, if you're cutting on people's toes and you have a nick and you get blood or body fluids, then you need to have an appropriate disinfectant that is effective towards bloodborne pathogens. Okay? If you're just cleaning your tools or materials, they may not come into contact with blood and body fluids, so it may not be necessary to use a hospital grade disinfectant for that. Okay? So efficacy describes what the product is effective against. Yeah, nail techs, you guys have your petty baths you have to disinfect, the whirlpool spa basins there at the salon and spa. You've got the nippers and all the metal implements that you're gouging at nails and stuff and cutting in ingrown nails and all that stuff. Estheticians, when they're doing extractions and if they're using lancets and stuff, a lot of that stuff is disposable. You might want to consider using disposable implements. Like lancets are disposable. You prick the skin, but you throw it away or dispose of it in a sharps container. Those plastic bins that the like doctors' offices use. Use a lot of disposable implements. But if you're using something like it's so fattened up with all kinds of other stuff you found that you like and stuff. But yeah, the efficacy describes what the product is effective against. Now here's don't get sick, Molly. You'll be all right. All right. So here's a big one. You may want to take some time and write this. But disinfectants are not all the same, people. Some are appropriate for use in the salon or spa, and some are not. Know the difference. You can't use Lysol in the salon to disinfect your tools and implements. That's not appropriate. But you can use a bleach solution as long as you're using sodium hypochlorite with 5.25% mixed in a ratio of 1/4 cup to a gallon of water. You're like, Jeremy, how do you know this stuff? Gosh, guys, I've been doing this for 16 years. But also, too, I follow my rules and regulations book, the law set forth by TDLR, because they are whom gives us our license, and they are who we have to make sure we are in compliance with. So follow their guidelines. They say 90% isopropyl alcohol can be used as a disinfectant in some cases, but that would be for only surfaces. That wouldn't be necessarily for your tools. So you've got to make sure that you know what you're using. Okay? So disinfectants are not all the same. Some disinfectants should be used on tools and implements that are immersed. We soak them. According to the manufacturer's directions, we soak them. Usually, most generally, it's 10 minutes is the rule of thumb. Okay? And you use them on non-porous surfaces. EPA, EPA, okay, remember, Sam, EPA is just saying that it's a registered disinfectant solution. Every solution slightly different. So if you're talking about an EPA registered hospital grade disinfectant solution, you've got to follow its directions um, uh, uh, as far as for what you're needing it to do. We found out with like some of them, you mix it in a higher concentration level when you are soaking it versus when you're spraying it. So read your label properly. Okay. Every product slightly different. Okay. You should be aware of the different types of disinfectants and the ones that are recommended for salon use. Okay. I decided to type these up like this for you guys because my handwriting, for one, if I was to write on the board, and then two, if I was writing on the board, you'd see the back of my head and you're not seeing my bald spot. Sorry, not sorry. I spray paint that thing. Okay? So choose wisely the disinfectant that you need to use. Okay? You have to think about the disinfectant qualities as well. There are some disinfectants that are really strong and caustic that may dull or rust your implements or maybe eat away. When I was a student, you guys, I soaked my plastic combs in a disinfectant and they melted. It was a strong disinfectant. I learned my lesson. Okay? All right. What is the most common type of disinfectant that's used in the salon and spa? Hello? This microphone thing. I'm sorry, I didn't mute it. I stopped talking. Neener, neener. Barbicide's a good choice. But read my question. What type of disinfectant? Barbicide's a brand. Barbicide's a brand. Like there's Hydrocide, there's Marvicide, there's Let's Dance. So what I was getting for, what is the most common type of disinfectant? Quartz. Quartz is a type of disinfectant that we use. Quartz. Not quartz. You're like, what does quartz stand for? I know it's a mouthful, but here we go. I'm going to lay it on you. You ready? Quaternary. No, I didn't take offense. Quaternary ammonium compounds. That's what quartz stands for. They're the most common. And why, you say? Well, I'll tell you why. But wait, there's more. They are the easiest to use, you guys. Easiest to use. They're generally safe. If you get them on your skin, you're not going to cry like you've been doused with acid. They're safe. They've been registered with the EPA, so they're considered safe to use. They're not going to give you cancer. When used properly, okay, they're generally safe when you use them properly. Now, I know there's some people that just don't know how to follow directions and want to just mix it up. You got to be careful, okay? But when used properly, they're generally safe. But you've got to follow the directions. Follow the directions. Okay, use it properly. That's why they're the most common. And in fact, when we're talking about disinfectants, you guys, some, whether it be a spray or a spritz or a liquid, some may be ready to use. Read your directions, guys, or directly from the bottle or what have you. You can spray it down on the surface or you can soak things right away, but you've got to follow the directions. Okay? Others, however, may be concentrated, where they must be mixed or even diluted. You guys learned about dilution already when you were talking about when y'all went through chemistry, and then even when you went through aromatherapy with Alana. There's some things you can't use directly out of the bottle. You got to dilute it. With aromatherapy and essential oils, you can't always slap those things directly on the skin. You got to dilute it in a carrier oil. Okay. Well, some chemicals have to be diluted. Usually it's with water. Okay. So others may be concentrated and must be mixed or diluted with water. Okay, it's so important. Now, when you are mixing or diluting, you've got to make sure that you are following the directions. Diluting it with water with the proper ratio. Some products may be 4 ounces to a gallon of water. Others may be 8 ounces, a higher concentration. Read your efficacy label. The label may tell you, hey, to just disinfect normal surfaces, like spraying off your cape, spraying off your counter. A general disinfectant may be only mixed with 4 ounces to a gallon of water. However, if you need it to be effective against bloodborne pathogens, then you increase the ratio to perhaps 8 ounces plus water to a gallon of water. And that would increase the concentration and therefore increase its effectiveness and make it effective against those things it comes into contact with. Okay. Now, the general rule of these disinfectants, you guys, is that the disinfectant has to sit on the surface for typically around 10 minutes. Okay? But that's at the surface level. Okay? You typically cannot, unless you've got a really strong product. There are products out there now that you can, but most generally, you're supposed to go through the levels of decontamination. You're supposed to start with basic sanitation. Okay, so let's review that. Okay, so let's talk about doing a client. Okay, Monica, if you're doing a nails client, Sam, if you're doing a hair client or you're doing a facial, there are different levels of disinfection or sanitation disinfection that are required based on. Right, exactly, Sam. So, for instance, like let's say we're dealing with a hair client. A hair client, when they come in, we're going to assume that the station is already clean, the chair is already clean, your implements in your station are clean and ready to go. So what we do with a client, we would drape them first with a proper drape, a single drape with maybe a Sanex strip, and then the cape around their neck. Okay? That may be one thing to do. Then, okay, if it was contaminated more with more than just the hair and debris that way, then you may need to wash those after each client's use. But after your client leaves, that's a good idea, Connor. That's good. That's what you should do. But yeah, you're practicing normal precautions. You're putting your dirty in, okay. But when you're ready and ready to disinfect your tools, you take those to the dispensary area, your combs or brushes that you may have used in the service of your clients. And then you wash them with warm soapy water. Well, first, before you do that, you should have removed any hair or debris. Like, for instance, Monica, if you were clipping some nails. Oh, Sam, don't be nervous. We'll help you every step of the way. Don't be. So many years you could really do it in your sleep. But what I was saying is that There you go, Connor. That's the attitude. What I was getting at is that you have to remove any hair or debris. Like Monica, I was telling you, if you're clipping with your nails. All right, but can you still hear me though? Where'd everybody go? Okay, fix them properly for what your needs are. Next thing up, then there's another less common that's old school. There are things known as phenolic disinfectants. Okay, these are highly powerful. They have a high pH. They can damage skin and eyes. And that is because they are a form of formaldehyde. Ew. Ew, 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 ew. Formaldehyde, you guys, is a carcinogen. Can cause cancer. So a lot of people, they've stopped using it. Okay? So phenolic disinfectants are powerful, have a high pH, and can damage skin and eyes. They are a form of formaldehyde. There are other types of disinfectants that you can use as well. Okay. You have to check with your TDLR, for instance, but you can check with them to find out what all disinfectants are approved. They allow bleach if you mix it to the proper ratio. They say that the bleach has to be at least a 5.25% mixed with water. Alcohol, like isopropyl alcohol, 70% is not accepted, but 90% you can use that to cleanse. Okay. Now, of course, you've got to have, we may have talked about it, but you've got to have material safety data sheets on all this information, on all these disinfectants. Material safety data sheets are important to keep on hand so you know how to dispose of these products. Some of like the phenolic cleanser, like these phenolic disinfectants, you can't just wash these down the drain, you guys. Okay? You can't just wash them down the drain. It's not good. Okay? All right, you guys. So that was basically choosing a disinfectant. What you're going to do now is for this last hour, I want you to go ahead and work on your assignments that you had from this morning and also rewriting your blood exposure. Okay? And we'll meet back here at 3 o'clock. Let's do a final roll call. Yes.